In this video, I'm going to answer more questions you have about the two in the box, and I'm going to tear this thing down.
Okay, interesting. Very interesting indeed.
Okay, let's start with these additional measurements. So I'm going to pop this out, and I'm going to measure both of these. And you'll find my measurements in this beautiful picture. This image is also available on my Instagram and on experienceexplorers.com. And while we're measuring, somebody wanted to know the diameter of the hose that connects to the trap.
It is around 6.8 millimeters. Just going to move it through here, maybe even 7 millimeters. If there's a little bit of movement, it's an exact 7, maybe just a tiny bit smaller than that.
Now, let's take some stuff apart.
People wanted to know how easy it was to take this apart and whether it would be easy to swap out this switch and this light bulb. So let's take this bad boy apart and see. So this has got the same hex bolts that other parts of the trap have. They look exactly like this here. There are 5 of them. Now let's see if this is going to come off in any way. Interesting.
Undoing that top part there does not give you access immediately to that area. So I thought
Incorrectly that undoing this would enable this to lift off. It appears that this actually might be one unit, and it looks to me like under the bottom here is the way to get in.
And I think this might answer one of the other questions you had, which was, is it easy to take the wheels off? And it looks to me as if to take the wheels off, you'd have to take the entire bottom off. I know you're saying, take the bottom off, Matt. Oh, okay, I'll do it.
So I've undone that. And what I've discovered is that these are not hex bolts. They are fake, as are these. So these are also fake underneath here.
So, thinking that I couldn't get into the bottom, I decided to take off both sides.
So as you can see here, again like on the other side, there's metal connectors here on this button, and they connect directly to this plate, which is just sitting there. And I'm going to assume that when we take this metal plate off, you're going to find the micro switch control mechanisms in there as well. So let me take this off first. Ah, interesting. Okay, so that's that bit. And let's gently ease this off. Okay, so that's a spring mechanism here for these to go into. So look, these are going to catch into here. You see, when I push, see the shape of this? When this pushes through, it's going to expand that out. It's kind of like a little spring mechanism, provides a little bit of tension, and then these are either on or off. So they see there's 2 switches there, on, off. And the Ghostbusters 2 ones don't have the little divot on them.
Having done all of that, I can see no way to get into the other parts of the trap, having taken it apart. Taking the sides off doesn't seem to reveal a way to get into the electronic components inside. Interesting.
So with that in mind, I'm just going to put this back, because what I don't want to do is have these components. This is a good heavy plate, by the way. There's more metal to it, obviously, than the other side. It's definitely one of the things that provides the weight. This and these wheels. But I'm going to put this back because, as I said, it has absolutely no impact, as it would appear, on taking that back piece off.
I eventually discovered something about the fake hex bolts on the base.
Okay, so I've discovered that these are actually screws. I can turn this screw and it pops up. This is definitely coming apart here. But here, I believe these screws must go even further in than my screwdriver can reach. Whoops. Ah, there we go. So that's what, look. So this is, look, it's just a little plug. So that's what that is. Okay. They are plugs, people. Nope, that still doesn't want to come out. It wants to come out this end. But it is not shifting here. I've got to get to these. And when I put this screwdriver down here, it hits nothing. Which makes me think I've got to get these little bungs out. It's budging. Yes! Now, it's to be noted, this one is bigger than these ones. So, and if you see down there, look, I don't know if you can get, try and get the light in. There's a screw right at the bottom of that. And actually, it's just a standard screw, right? This would, we'll put this in and it will turn it. Yay! I've just bent that though. That's not great, but anyway. Ah, here we go, people. Here we go. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. So, here's a few things you can see. Number one, this is the mechanism for this to clamp into. So those are those pins there. This is the shaker that shakes the trap. So you see in here, you've got the connection to the cable there to the pedal. And then here, on this unit here, some kind of control unit. I'm assuming that that's the controller system here. This looks like a switch and light array. This encloses the wheels. So in order to take the wheels out, you're going to have to remove this piece. These screws hold it in. You're going to have to take this off, and you're going to have to take the speaker off. And I think, yeah, you're going to have to take the whole of this piece off here. So it will basically, the bit you see where the base is here, that is connected to an insert that goes all the way along here and rests in the bottom. So you'll need to remove that to take out the wheels. And then let's see if we can just have a look at this switch and this light bulb. So I'm just going to put my screwdriver in here. Excuse the back of my hand as I try and remove this. It looks like all the screws inside this are the same design, which makes sense because when you're building something like this, you want to use the same materials. Now I'm going to carefully see if I can... The problem I've got with my setup is I've put the camera right where my face needs to be, so I'm just going to put it off to the side for a second and see if I can take this out carefully. All right, the camera's not in my sight lines now. So how easy is this going to be to move? So it looks like inside here there are a couple of pegs that hold the, you can see one of them there, that's one of the pegs. There are a couple of pegs that hold the circuit board in place. And of course, the thing I just remembered is that this here is screwed on. There we go. It's quite difficult to get in here because this edge here kind of gets in the way. But there we go. Right, that's loosening up now. All right. Okay, you'll see the switches here. So I'm just gonna maybe just wobble that and see if I can push it through. And as you'll see here on the inside now, so it looks like this button. See the button here? So this is to release the trap. And that little piece sits in front of the panel, so it looks like you're gonna have to lift that up to get this panel out easily. Okay, I got it. It is just this trigger mechanism. You're gonna have to be really careful. And I'm wondering now, while I'm doing this, whether the easier thing to do would be to undo this whole trigger mechanism first before taking this out, because this is in there like a tick. Okay, so now we've got the problem of these wires in the way. Oh, that's good. There's plenty of room to move those out of the way. Okay, folks, here is what we've got. Finally. Okay, so this is the thing that people are complaining about a little bit, because it is not like the actual bulb in the movie. And that fits straight on top of an LED here, like that. So it just pops on. That's a very standard LED fitting. So this is interesting. So this silver piece here is molded. It's part of the molding. So what we're going to want to make, if you want to change this out, is some kind of replica of that with in some kind of clear plastic. I guess you could do a 3D print potentially. And then as far as the switch is concerned, this is the switch we're dealing with. And again, I think that if you look at this panel, right, it's pretty clear. You've got the LED here, and then you've got the different locations for the switch. It's very simple on this panel. See, all these wires just connect directly to this very simple circuit board. And then all that's happening is we're either in the center or we're off or we're here. So it's very simple. I think you could probably, you just need to find a 3-pole switch with a central position to swap between those two. Something like this potentially, but with, this is obviously just a 2-pole. You're going to want more than that to replace it. These are the ones I use on my Spirit traps. Now we know that in order to change the wheels out, you have to tear it right down to a layer even further than I've gone today. And that it is going to be possible to swap out that LED. You're just going to need to swap out the cover for it. So let's talk about the pedal, because I had a couple of questions about that. So the question was about the construction of the pedal. So I can confirm that the pedal is, as far as I can tell, certainly this piece is made of plastic. And then it's hard to tell because it's quite cold in my garage. I'm pretty sure that everything else is plastic construct, from what I can tell. And then I had another question again about this light. So you know what? Let's open this up. So it looks like this whole side panel here just pops off. It does indeed. And then inside here, you'll note that you've got the same setup. So this little piece here, and obviously I think you're going to have to take all of the back off here from the pedal point of view, but you can definitely see this circuit board is just a dual wire going to 2 screws and this little circuit board with an LED. So yeah, so again, I think it's, as soon as you drop this out, in fact, I can see the plastic in here, this will drop inside, and then you could replace this plastic covering with a new one. But yeah, but despite the fact that it's plastic, it feels pretty sturdy. I mean, I wouldn't like step with all my weight on this, but it feels like it's gonna be pretty good. And again, based on what I'm seeing here, if you wanted to replace this with metal, it would be like a metal plate. I'm pretty sure that in the original it's a metal plate with like a kind of rubber surface on it. I might be wrong about that, but you could easily swap this out for a metal version of that if you wanted to, I think, and even a metal hinge. I had one more question about the 2 in the box, which was around the PKE meter, and whether there are different patterns or variations on the PKE meter to make it look more like Ghostbusters 2 compared to Ghostbusters 1. So the only variant in lighting that I can see on this, and I've kind of studied looking at the side of the lighting here, it goes in the same pattern. Obviously this speeds up when the arms are raised. But here,
if you move it in this direction, so the green light is on, the lights travel in this direction, and then if you put it here with the amber light, it then heads in that direction. But as far as I can tell, the lighting configuration on the side does not change its pattern.
So now my desk is covered in pieces of the two in the box.
I hope that that has answered the majority of the questions that you have. And if not, put something in the comments and I will do my best to respond to you. If you're still waiting for your two in the box to arrive, or you didn't order one, then you can watch a video on how to mod this spirit trap by clicking one of these two links. Either of these, just this one or this one.